Another very snazzy new Space Marine character model today. Here we have a new model for Corswain, Seneschal of the Dark Angels. Hello and welcome back to Warspecs Tactics, where today I thought we'd just take a very quick look at Games Workshop's new model. Their Horus Heresy Thursdays have been keeping some good stuff coming, and today we've got a new model for at least one of the better known characters in the Horus Heresy novel series, a rather awesome Dark Angels blademaster knight called Corswain. As models go, I think he's going to be one that quite a few people already recognise the name of. He's a better known character than some within the novels, a formidable blademaster and high-ranking seneschal within the Dark Angels Legion, and has been featured prominently in a couple of campaigns throughout the Horus Heresy. I think the miniature itself does really quite well to play into the monastic warrior knight aesthetic that the Dark Angels have. Largely pretty practical crusading knights, but perhaps with a few more robes and things going on. There looks to be a bit of chainmail on his cloak there, and quite a lot of cool little details on his rather fancy suit of power armour. Wargear wise, that enormous tyrannic greatsword is called the Blade. As they say on the Warhammer community preview place, maybe he's not the most inventive when it comes to naming weapons. I'm sure like its namesake though, it's very simple and effective if he hits you with it hard. Otherwise his armour is the armour of the forest and the mantle of the champion. I'm going to guess the armour of the forest might come from the Dark Angels Caliban. They did have a bit of a problem with a forest full of wild beasties before they managed to pacify it. Overall, I think that the model will go down pretty well. It seems to be another really nice themed Horus Heresy miniature, representing a cool character for the lore, and I think at least fairly well executed. Maybe the pose isn't massively enormously dynamic or anything, but it looks to me like he's fairly menacingly striding into battle. I must admit, I do quite like the Dark Angels Heresy era helmets, and it looks like a pretty nicely balanced model overall, if you can really call a model balanced while it's carrying that enormous sword. I did notice on their Facebook post as well, someone did post that he seems to be carrying around little armour visors on his knees. Not entirely sure what the openings on those are for, maybe just for a little bit of added ventilation as he's slaying the heretics. He does also have a head swap, which we'll take a look at in just a second. In terms of the release, I don't know exactly when they're going to release it, but I suspect it will be a good another month or two out yet. They have been showing off a few of these character series miniatures a fair while in advance. It is a Forge World resin kit unfortunately, not a plastic one. It does mean it's going to be quite a nice detailed miniature to work with, but maybe just a little bit harder to assemble and stuff. And also resin miniatures will be a bit more expensive. He'll be around £35, $55 or €45 if they do continue with their current theme for pricing. That's based on other things like that recent Saul Tarvitz release. Definitely not too cheap if you wanted to add him to the Horus Heresy army, or if you wanted to represent something like a company champion or something in 40k. Otherwise, Games Workshop have shown us a few other pictures of the miniature. His mantle's looking all very nice, decked out in green there. It looks like he's got a couple of lion tails on the back there. All very appropriate to go dressing up in the namesake of your Primarch, I suppose. Otherwise, there's quite a nice close-up shot of the big sword that he's carrying. I quite like the gemstone effect that they've painted it with there. And an alternate head swap with a bear head. Again, as with a lot of them, I probably prefer the helmeted one, but I feel like this one, more than a fair few of them, does fit in with the rest of his pose. Being a nice hooded Dark Angel is very much on theme. So anyway, another cool and I'd say fairly successful entry in their Horus Heresy resin miniature series. Let me know your thoughts on the miniature down in the comments below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And would any of you Dark Angels players be tempted to pick him up for Heresy or 40k purposes? If you've enjoyed the video, then feel free to subscribe to Warspecs Tactics, where I'll certainly try and keep up with Games Workshop's news and releases. And if you'd like to help keep these videos coming, there are a couple of links down in the video description that help people do that. There's an Element Games affiliate link if you happen to be buying models within the UK. That gets you a bit of money off and a bit goes to help support the channel. And there's also a Patreon page to support the channel a bit more directly. Feel free to check either of those out if you're interested. In any case, an enormous thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.